WisdomTree's XRP and ETF applications have been reviewed by the SEC, and the agency is now seeking public feedback on the matter. Things are heading in the right direction, which is fantastic news. Approval of these ETFs makes perfect sense since they will bring in a ton of idle wealth. You wouldn't believe how much cash is hanging, being inactive. Even if it doesn't happen next month, I still think it will happen shortly, because ETFs answer that problem. I believe that some of these assets and applications will be published this year. Many people are eagerly anticipating the arrival of XRP ETFs, Salana Litecoin, and many other coins. Sure, I agree with it. The spot ETF is scheduled to launch. Despite the gravity of the situation, let's examine the latest developments. If you are an XRP user interested in yesterday night's market performance, you are welcome to return to the crypto channel. Nothing has changed in terms of price, and the market overall is still down. In the past hour, there has been a minor uptick in the overall picture. The market may be down 1% in USD or 1% in Bitcoin, but one additional piece costs $126, a 2.5% drop in USD, and the market is still down. Take a peek at the $132 billion market valuation and the $2 billion per day trade volume. I do have one last thing to make, though, before we continue. Please do not rely on any of the content on this channel as a substitute for professional financial advice. You should always conduct your own research before investing in cryptocurrency. Having said that, I'd like to get everyone's thoughts on the topic I posed 2 days ago. How much will Bitcoin be worth by the end of the month's candle? Even though the month is almost over, 2,200 votes have been cast. We appreciate everyone's vote. Make sure you're subscribed and that the bell symbol is turned on if you would want to join us for these. The market is going to close near all-time highs at $115,000 or slightly higher, according to 56% of the 2,200 votes submitted. It is quite intriguing because it has not yet tested $15,000 again. Your thoughts and predictions regarding the future of Bitcoin's price would be greatly appreciated. To upgrade the country's payment systems, they did collaborate with the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority. You can see that they were able to attract the attention of financial institutions thanks in part to the XRP price increase. By the end of 2017, Ripple had surpassed the value of all but 20 banks globally in terms of inputs and institutions. After that, the call ended. This follows Vivo Power's $121 million fundraising to launch an XRP-based treasury strategy spearheaded by Saudi Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Al Saud. I may have mispronounced his name. It's done. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on it, but Willy Woo, the news I have for you can be good or bad. A decrease in the risk signal indicates that market liquidity is improving, which is excellent news. Things are looking up for a repeat performance in the far future. Having said that, this impressive progression from $75,000 to my previous piece made it clear that $112,000 is beginning to decline in value. It's critical that we stick to the plan regardless of how much we dislike it. The most immediate concern of mine is that new speculators will enter the market at the same time as many others are preparing to sell their holdings in the hopes of making a profit. What happens to prices in the next month or two is heavily dependent on where buyers put their money this week. What a unique spin on Willy Woo to have you smack dab in the center. If we don't see anything this week, particularly the monthly light, things might not go according to plan. This is why I wanted to know what happens if the monthly candle doesn't end at the amount he mentioned. It is possible that things are deteriorating and that the price will eventually settle at 100,000 or lower. That was something we discussed last night, yes. Never forget that the Bank of France is pushing for XRP to replace all of the euros as the Eurozone's digital currency. The excellent behavior of Ripple and XRP has led many financial institutions to look to them as models for CBDCs, centralized and built on a permission network, which limits the ability to verify transactions to specific nodes. Coins like Bitcoin and Ether, on the other side, are permissionless and decentralized. The Ripple plan demonstrates that some components of blockchain technology may not be compatible with the dollar, the target of CBDCs. Nonetheless, there are methods to configure the technology in its current state to achieve this purpose, that are able to deal with the scalability and safety requirements of such initiatives, and the European Central Bank is monitoring the residences of individuals who possess cryptocurrency. The fact that this number is currently increasing suggests that you are unhappy with the current situation. How many blue dots represent the number of respondents who stated that they or a member of their family held cryptocurrency? Just a rough approximation. The proportion of a family's wealth that is held in cryptocurrency. Every household's cryptocurrency holdings are shown by the market value of the euro area. Additional families may be formed as a result of crypto assets being associated with investment products. Things have changed dramatically in recent years, so it's no wonder that more and more individuals are considering. Although many are investing in cryptocurrencies and increasing their Bitcoin holdings, the true goal of the Pakistani government is to establish a strategically placed Bitcoin store. None of our Bitcoin will ever be for sale. Returning to the topic I've been discussing with you all these days, this isn't limited to the United States, it's occurring on a global scale. Would like to acquire this digital gem. The fact that demand exceeds supply should be emphasized once more. I believe this will eventually become the standard because it is a fantastic example. That, however, was my entire point on that. We can check the price's movement. Indeed, the level of dominance increased to 6.413%. Since then it has decreased somewhat. However, its continued ascent demonstrates its resilience. In contrast, one Bitcoin was worth 17 grand. Indeed, we did drop to 106. You can see that the retest I mentioned last night indeed took place if you refer to my report from yesterday. It is probable that it will drop to 102,000 or perhaps the psychological $10,000 level, and that range was helpful to us. Keeping the support level intact will allow us to reach our target of the $100,000 pricing level. If we can get below that, the 96,000 level is another realistic target. It bears repeating, we did really achieve a new peak. If you're trying to make sense of Bitcoin right now, I hope you're not looking at it over a long period of time. Previously completed, now would be a good time to see how the XRP price is moving. Over the last several days, the XRP price has indeed fallen below that crucial support level. There was a brief dip to $222 before a minor recovery, but we're pretty much out of luck at that support level at this point. Obviously, BT is involved. You're not happy with the cost of. If Bitcoin's price drops below $30, XRP's price sensors predict it will go below $38.